This is why you have to release the Epstein files, because the Democrats actually think that they are on solid ground to hold up a sign that says GOP stands for Guardians of PDF Files. Are you guys out of your mind? Hey, I can't remember which side of us was in support of Sound of Freedom. Which side is the one who has been doing nothing but talking about protecting children or the kids who are coming over the border illegally? That's us. Okay, that's us. And now they get to hold up those signs and think that they've got the moral high ground on that topic? You have to be joking me. All right, we got a lot to get to in this video, so we're going to rock and roll right now. Okay, so we're going to go through this story about Kash Patel finding thousands of sensitive Trump Russia probe documents inside of a burn bag in secret room in the FBI. Oh, oops. Oops, guys. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't wait to see what are in those documents that they wanted to burn, you know. We're also going to finally look at this thing that I talked about in my live stream and in my Diddy video that I still have not gotten to, which is the specifics on what Trump said and why he ended his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, because it's different than everybody's heard before. Very, very bizarre. And then we'll also end right here on the Supreme Court now agreeing that they will, in fact, discuss Ghislaine Maxwell's case and whether to just go ahead and just let her out of prison. Because of course, like, come on, guys. Don't be so hard on her. You're all, what'd she do? It's like, well, you know, she took children. Do you guys think that 13-year-olds are children? I would say 13-year-olds are children. It's my daughter's 13th birthday today. So yeah, I would say they're children. Well, you know, she took a 13-year-old by the hand. And when I mean a 13-year-old, I mean many 13-year-olds by the hand, walked them into a room and was like, listen, I know you probably feel uncomfortable being naked in front of like men, but Jeffrey's different, okay? It's okay to have your shirt off. Just keep your bra on. Don't worry, he won't ask you to take that off. And she got them all nice and comfortable so that the PDF file, who was in the other room, who was going to come in a towel, could more easily, you know, touch them. And this is a good time for me to tell you that I am going to drop a video in the next week to week and a half that is going to shut your lights out. Okay, when we're talking about Epstein and we're talking about, basically, you see what Candace is doing when she's exposing all this like really bizarre PDF file stuff coming out of France and this insane pattern of disgusting behavior from people like that. Well, I'm going to show you in a different country a level that is, I mean, it's so undeniable. We're talking about the UK. I did this. I went with ChatGPT and did a level of deep dive research that is, I'm very proud of myself. I'm not going to lie, dude. And when I put it all together and then we added in the Jimmy Savile stuff, and I did a lot of research on that last night, I cannot even explain to you. Like, if you want to prove Lasagnagate, doing it globally is a little bit hard. Doing it in one country, when you look at this, you're going to go, okay, well, it absolutely 100% was real there. So what's the likelihood that it's not real globally when we start looking at that? So when I tell you this is the video that I've been talking about, where I told you I would prove that the UK was run by an elite like cabal of PDF files. Okay, you need to sit back and watch that entire video and just prepare to have your brain slide out of your ear by the end of it, because it is, we live in the world that you thought we did if you're a Lasagnagate person. Okay, so let's jump into this thing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys doing that. I just got done with one of the most terrifying 2 hours of my life, where I thought I had my entire channel get demonetized for reasons that I will get into in the live stream I'm about to do in a second. But man, it was absolutely scary. I think that we're good. But anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. So Kash Patel found thousands of sensitive Trump Russia probe docs inside of burn bags in a secret room inside of the FBI. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought, you know? Anywho, so let's go. Kash Patel turned over the documents to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. FBI Director Kash Patel found a trove of sensitive documents relating to the origins of the Trump Russia probe buried in multiple burn bags in a secret room inside of the Bureau. Sources told Fox News Digital. Hey, I bet they would have burned those things, huh? You know, I bet you would have been much better off had you burned them, because you guys understand it's only July. Like, we're at the end of July of the first of 4 years. They got a lot of time to prosecute these guys. Everybody thinks no one's going to get prosecuted. I don't agree. I really do not agree. And the reason for that is because of what they did. They prosecuted Trump, dude. They broke the seal on this, okay? That had never been broken before. No one, you guys are right. No one ever got prosecuted for this kind of thing, except they started this. And now they can't complain. So they were filled with thousands of documents. Sources told Fox News Digital that one of the documents FBI officials found in a burn bag was the classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report, which includes underlying intelligence he reviewed. I have no idea what that means or why it would be important, but the declassification of the classified annex is being done in close coordination between the CIA director, John Ratcliffe Patel, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Acting National Security Agency Director William Hartman. Man, when you actually read that out loud, okay, it's crazy. Like, you want to see what a coup looks like? Okay, this is what a coup looks like, right? If the deep state was run by all of the power wielded by these different agencies, well, when you look at this and you're like, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Trump's guy. Kash Patel, Trump's guy. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's girl. Pam Bondi, Trump's girl. And the National Security Agency Director, William Hartman, I assume Trump's guy. It's like, man, that is the definition of fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? And now we're on the other side of that. Now, I am not necessarily sure this is a good thing for the country, you know, because I don't see Democratic voters as my enemies. We're all Americans. But I have a feeling that they are going to start seeing us as their enemies if we start prosecuting people. But at the same time, okay, if you got to break some eggs to make an omelet, that's what you got to do, man. Because at the end of the day, like, if these guys committed treason, and you certainly have to acknowledge that fabricating a case that implies that the sitting president conspired with an adversarial nation to rig the election, if that's not treason, what is? You know what I mean? So sources exclusively briefed Fox News Digital on some of the context of the classified annex, including that the U.S. intelligence community had credible foreign sources indicating that the FBI would play a role in spreading the alleged Trump-Russia collusion narrative before the Bureau even launched its controversial Crossfire hurricane probe. Wow. Gee, I wonder why James Comey is so angry. I wonder why Maureen Comey is suspicious when she hands off a file that has whatever in it. Like, look, dude, I could guarantee you Trump doesn't remember every single thing that he ever said in the 90s, right? So let's say that in the Epstein files, there's something that's like, oh yeah, Trump was on a recorded phone call and he laughed when Jeffrey Epstein said that he had a high school girl at his house or something. You know what I mean? Like, and then you mix that up with like fake stuff, and you know what I mean? Like, why would you believe any of it? Why would you believe any of it? If you're Trump, like, I would look at it and be like, yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. These are the same people that cooked up this Russiagate stuff. You know what I mean? That's why and this is the thing. I'm not saying Trump did nothing wrong with Epstein. I have no idea. I have no way to confirm or deny any of it. What I'm saying is that that's why the people who did Russiagate have to be punished. Because the reason that we can't trust any of it is because we know they cooked that up. We know they cooked that up. So if you don't punish them, you're just setting it up to where, okay, the next side, the other side now gets to cook everything up. Like, I don't want anyone cooking anything on anyone. Okay, it should be criminal prison for people who frame other politicians. It also, for the record, obviously should be prison if you touch kids, right? And I will continue. Every time that I bring this up, I will say the same thing. If Trump touched kids, I am done with him no matter what. But I have absolutely, I don't even suspect him of doing that. Okay, I'm saying that so everyone understands that I am not a person who would ever defend people who have even sniffed, who ever even like discussed, sniffed anything having to do with kids. A source familiar with the context of the classified annex told Fox News Digital that while it may not be exactly clear in the moment what the intelligence collection meant, with the benefit of hindsight, it predicted the FBI's next move with alarming specificity. Well, I guess they can defend themselves in court about whether that's a coincidence or not. Ultimately, the release of the classified annex will lend more credibility to the assertion that there was a coordinated plan inside the U.S. government to help the Clinton campaign stir up controversy connecting Trump to Russia. The source who was granted anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence matters that have not been made public told. Okay, so here's the other thing too. Did you guys hear the story about how Zucker at CNN said that they needed to play up their connections between Epstein and Trump? This is going into 2020. Like, there was a thing with Epstein. They were like, when he got arrested, they're like, play up the connections between Epstein and Trump. this could, this could cost us the election or whatever. I think it was 2020. I just thought of that right now. I just remembered. I should have looked that up. I'm going to do a separate video on it, but there's something about that floating around right now that they were like, they know the real connection to Epstein is Clinton. And they were like, play up the Trump thing, play up the Trump thing, play up the Trump thing. That was, this is all part of one big coordinated thing, obviously, Mere days after this intelligence was collected, the FBI launched Crossfire Hurricane. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, dude, I am very curious to hear, I want to hear someone smart like Grassley, who's been in, Congress for 250,000 years. I want to hear what they say, like after they look at these documents, you know what I mean? Now, in the meanwhile, I wanted to go, actually, let's just touch on the Ghislaine Maxwell thing real quick, because again, now apparently Ghislaine Maxwell's case is going to be seen privately in September in a post-summer conference by the Supreme Court. Now, if you've been paying close attention to this entire thing, okay, to this whole entire thing, right? The Epstein saga, the idea that she could not possibly be pardoned is not correct. There is absolutely a world where she gets pardoned. I mean, that's just, there's no question about that. Okay. It is an unbelievably gross option. But if you think that can't happen, if you think that they can't use some technicality to overturn her conviction and have her walk, given the level of power that has been exerted related to this case, you're crazy. For sure that could happen. And I don't have anything to say about it except that they're going to be meeting September 29th. I think that probably is them thinking that enough time will have passed. You know what I mean? Like, why September 29th? Why? Oh my God, is that Sydney? Oh, sorry. I lost my train of thought for some reason. I can't, what's happening? What? I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, she definitely, distracted me. But if you guys have not been paying attention to the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle thing, it is the funniest thing ever. There's all these woke people that are like, oh my God, it's fascism. It's fascism. You're all, what's fascism? They're all, her body. Shut up, fatty. Jeez. But to all my big ladies, I love y'all. But just don't talk shit about Sydney Sweeney for being in good shape. The only people I would ever call fatty are people who are big and they hate on people who are not. Where you're like, dude, you can go for that too. I only hate on people who hate on people. Honestly, that's actually kind of an epiphany for me. I hate on people. Only people who hate on other people. If people are nice, I never hate on them ever. Never. That's why I always defend Brendan Schaub, because he's the nicest guy in the world and people are very mean to him for no reason. I've never seen him be mean to anyone. Okay? I love that guy. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell will smile in your face, but if you're a teenager, she's all, I would love, this is probably a little bit silly, but I would love to see, how good a shape are you in, Sydney Sweeney? Sydney's all, I am 14 right now. She's all, I know, but Jeffrey loves a little girl that knows how to look confident. And you know what makes me feel confident is walking around in my underwear. So, maybe would you like to walk around in your underwear with me, little girl? Fucking creep. Ghislaine Maxwell. Blech. Don't pardon her. Okay. So now let's talk about this thing. All right. So Trump says he ended his friendship with Epstein because he stole people that worked for me. Okay, so this whole thing's weird because, again, what stories did we hear? We heard that Trump and him got into it over a piece of real estate, and then we also heard that it was because Epstein went after kids at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, well, which one is it? You know what I mean? Those are the two options. Everybody's heard that. Everybody's heard those two options. I have never heard a third option. But now, this is what Trump's saying, okay? This is really weird, dude. So President Donald Trump said Monday that he ended his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein and threw the now disgraced financier out of his private club in Florida after Epstein betrayed him more than once by hiring people who had worked for Trump. That is so weird. Isn't it? I don't know. That is such a weird angle to go with. It's you already got half the people believing that you ended your friendship with him over him being a creep. Why not just run with that? Trump did not say what his employees did or where they worked, and the White House declined further comment, but the White House had previously offered a different explanation for the falling out, Stephen Chung, the White House communications director, said in a statement last week, the fact is that the president kicked him out of his club for being a creep. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, dude. Okay. Obviously, I voted for Trump. Obviously, I think that there is a, like, you're never going to have a perfect administration. Everyone says this and then they do that. Everyone says they do this and then they do that. You know, the previous administration says they care about freedom and then they lock you in your house for 4 years. You know, this one says we're not going to do any foreign wars and they bomb Iran. You know, stuff like that, right? You're never going to have everything that you want. And a lot of times you're going to get things that you definitely thought you didn't have to worry about getting when clearly you did, you know. But in this case, like, one thing where they keep on shooting themselves in the foot is get your story straight. Like, get your story straight. If you say you kicked him out for being a creep, that's the story. This is not complicated, okay? PR is not hard, okay? You come up with a very simple line and you stick to it. That's it, okay? Now, I'm not saying that the line that you come up with is, you know, you need talented people to strategize through it and tell you guys what your line is, but then you stick to it. You don't say that I'm giving you the binders and this is phase 1 of 10 Epstein drops, and then out of nowhere be like, oh my God, it's a Democrat conspiracy. And you're like, what, dude? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Of course this happened. You know, of course this happened after you did that. And this, you called him a creep already. Stick to it, dude. He's a creep. We all know he's a fucking creep. So, like, why would you change? Like, what purpose could that possibly run? Like, it's just, it just gives people, you know, it just gives people a reason to be talking about this when you don't want them talking about this at all. I am checking whether Candace dropped a new one yet today. She didn't. Candace, dude, what am I supposed to do with my day if you don't drop a new video? Okay. It's 4:30. You were supposed to drop at 3:30. Not cool, dude. Anyway, Epstein himself, authorities say, in a New York jail cell in 2019 as he awaited trial on sex trafficking charges. Trump and his top allies stoked conspiracy theories about Epstein's death before Trump returned to power, and now they're struggling to manage the fallout after the Justice Department said Epstein did in fact die by that it would not release additional documents about the case. The president and his allies, some of whom are now in the administration, had promised to release the files. The case has dogged Trump at home and abroad, and even followed President J.D. Vance. During an appearance in his home state of Ohio on Monday, a small group of protesters assembled outside a factory in Canton that Vance toured, holding signs that spelled out JD protects PDF files. Democrats said that. Democrats said that. Democrats said JD Vance protects PDF files. Really? Who is that exactly? The audacity of Democrats saying that is actually unbelievable. Also indicating that GOP stands for Guardians of PDF Files. Wow, dude. Okay, so that's the clown world that we're living in now. That's a clown. People who are Democrat, like longtime voting Democrats, really think that they're in a position to make signs saying that the GOP stands for Guardians of PDF Files. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Where did you guys sit on Drag Queen Story Hour? You know? Where were you guys on this Epstein thing all the way up until you thought maybe you'd catch Trump dirty on it? I can't remember. Did you guys care about this? Which side was the one driving this entire thing to ring up and bury every single PDF file on earth? I can't remember. Was that you guys or was that us? They are such frauds, okay? Like, they are such frauds. They're a joke. It's unreal. Now you guys care? Now you care about PDF files? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They have no shame, like none. And they don't even realize it. Like, we'll be like, hey, remember when we all supported the movie Sound of Freedom? Because this is an issue we care that much about. They're all, wasn't that QAnon movie? You're like, are you? QAnon movie. Right, exactly. Because when we would talk about this issue as a global issue, you would call us conspiracy theorists. And now you care? And now you care. You fucking frauds, dude. You people are a joke, okay? You are a joke. I can't. I literally can't. The Republican president spoke at his golf property in Turnberry, Scotland, as he sat with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer after the leaders had met and were answering questions from US to UK journalists. Asked to explain the relationship, he faltered. That's such old history, very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time explaining it. He stopped talking to Epstein after he did something that was inappropriate. Oh, all right. So there you go. He said he did something that's inappropriate. He hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. Trump said, he stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place. Persona non grata. He said, I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did it if you want to know the truth. All right. He should have just added in that he also made people feel uncomfortable. You know? Anyway, all right. That's enough, dude. That's enough for this vid. I love you guys. Bye-bye.